Hey guys, my name is Thomas with All Surface Pressure Cleaning and Sealing. Today we're doing a DIY bucket top sprayer. These are used for several applications such as paver sealing and applying different chemicals in the field. We're going to go ahead and give you some step-by-step instructions with everything here on how to build one of these, so follow along. Okay guys, to get started we're going to talk about a few things that we need here. We need a 1 gallon per minute Everflow pump. You can find this on Amazon. We're going to need a couple of hose clamps, and we're going to need a sealing wand like this. I bought this on pressurewasherproducts.com. We're going to need some stainless steel screws. We're going to need an inverter with a 12-volt battery. This one's for the DeWalt. We're going to need a hose cutter. We're going to need the bucket lid, a drill in order to drill some holes in the bucket lid. We're also going to need drill bits, some 3/8 hose, and a bucket. Let's talk about the layout. You're going to want the battery, the inverter, and the pump to be laid out in a way that you're not interfering with the handle of the bucket like this. You also want to make sure that you have adequate space to put your inlet hose inside to the bucket and have somewhere to attach the outlet hose where it's not interfering. So the way I usually do that is I'll go ahead and lay it out here before I bolt anything down. Now we'll drill the holes where they need to be. Okay, now I'm just putting the bolts in the holes that we did with the drill bit. And on the back side, I'll just put some wing nuts on to secure these. Okay, we're going to cut off the adapter that comes on the pump side, and then we're going to go ahead and strip back the wires on both the adapter side and the wires that come on the inverter side. Now that the wires are stripped on both ends, the adapter actually comes with this quick connect. This quick connect is to connect the wires from the pump to the wires to the inverter. So the way we use this is we slide them in there, lift this up, clip them all the way down to secure them. On this specific model, we're going to use the black wire on our blue connector to join the black wire on both the inverter and the pump, and we'll use the red side for the red wire and the yellow side from the inverter to this side. That's your positive and your negative. When it's done, it should look like this. Give it a little tug to make sure that it's secure. Okay, now we're going to do the plumbing to get our hose down into the bucket. What I like to do is attach the hose here, cut right about where that section meets that hole. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my fitting here, and then this is going to point down to where I will attach this other hose to drop down into the bucket. 1, 2, 3 parts. All 3 parts are going to be secured with a hose clamp. Okay, now you want to just make sure that you have these areas secured with hose clamps here, here, and here, and make sure the drop tube is going to be long enough to reach the bottom of the bucket. Okay, next we're going to do our outlet hose. Some guys will run a straight piece of hose all the way to the gun here. I like to add a quick connect because sometimes I want to wrap up my hose and store it and be able to disconnect it here. So what I do is I cut off the male end and the female end of the 3/8 hose and add a quick connect so I can simply take it on and off. Okay, next you're going to make sure that you attach the hose to the barb that's on the gun. Again, I got this one from pressurewasherproducts.com, and we're using a 6510 for the paver sealer. Make sure that everything is tied together well and with a hose clamp, as this is your pressure side. All right, for the bottom of the bucket, we usually use a strainer. I'll put a piece of PVC like this to hold it down to the bottom of the bucket. And then what I'll usually do is put the filter strainer like this inside, and that's going to go ahead and drop that down to the bottom of the bucket there. Some guys use a piece of screen with a zip tie so they can take it off and put it back on. There's a couple different ways that you guys can use a straightener, but this is the one I decided to use for demonstration purposes. All right, guys, and this is your basic build here. We can tidy up some of these wires with some cable ties or whatnot. Maybe put something waterproofing over here to make sure that that doesn't get wet and whatnot. But we'll go ahead and get this thing fired up for you so you can see it in action. We're using a 6510 tip, and let's demonstrate. Okay, guys, we're gonna do the demo with the 6510 tip. Has a good even spray pattern and some really nice coverage.